Two, three, one, two, and we're recording. Cool. What's good, people? Once again, welcome to the Unconquered World podcast, where positivity plus love equals peace. I know y'all like how I changed that up. I just changed that up on y'all. Instead of that source, the premise being positivity, the source is love, and the outcome is peace. Hopefully, peace, whatever that means to you. I can still bring that one in sometime, but I think we're gonna start with saying positivity plus love equals peace, because that's essentially what it is in a shorter, more sweet to the point version of what I want to say at the beginning of the show. So, welcome to the Unconquered World podcast, where positivity plus love equals peace. Today we talking about sacrifices. When it comes to this topic, there's a lot of gray area in terms of what people deem a real sacrifice or not a real sacrifice and things of that nature. And in my opinion, I think that anything can be a sacrifice, but the level of whatever you're sacrificing matters in regards to whatever situation you're going through. I don't think you should brag about things that are bad for you when you have sacrificed them. Like it's like if you eat a lot of candy and you got bad teeth, you know, you don't really need to brag about I sacrificed candy and now I got healthier teeth. It's an ends to a mean, but it's not sacrificing something for the real, I guess, betterment of anything or anyone. I think it's just something that you kind of let get out of hand and then you had to end up sacrificing something that you probably wouldn't have had to sacrifice otherwise. So, real sacrifices are the kinds that I can't even imagine yet because I'm not like a parent. Like the sacrifices that parents make, um, that families make in terms of helping their loved ones in times of need or in just in general to make sure that day-to-day things are taken care of. I think those kinds of sacrifices are the ones that kind of go overlooked, but they actually mean the most. So, to get into it, let's just hit it with positivity, man. Sacrifices that usually make room for something better. Like I said, giving up candy for healthier teeth, give up TV so you can learn to focus more. Give up fast food to be healthier. These are all ends that, well, the ends justify the means or whatever. Um, in regards to the sacrifice you're making, you have to make a sacrifice so that something can be better. And like I said, it's different levels of it, but essentially that's what any sacrifice is or should be, in my opinion. You have to be giving up something to be getting something better, or else you're doing it for no reason other than because somebody else, I guess, might have urged you or put you on to doing it. Um, all these things that I just mentioned are give you a better quality of life, as well as other sacrifices that people make. Oftentimes, give people a better quality of life, or make the situation in which they are already engulfed in better. Um, Another positive thing about sacrifices is they keep you humble. Everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth, as Mike Tyson said. So what sacrificing does, it shows you, man, you kind of just like everybody else. Everybody has to sacrifice this at some point or that at some point. There's a lot of things that we all can possibly relate to in terms of things we might have had to sacrifice in our lives. That's what often joins people together and keeps them joined in terms of lifelong friendships and things of that nature, is the sacrifices they have to make. You look at a team, me being an athlete, I compare a lot of things to athletics, but I got a lot of teammates that we sacrificed a lot of time, a lot of energy, our bodies in certain ways to try to reach a goal, and we're bonded together through those sacrifices. So sacrificing is something that keeps you humble, and it humbles you, and it levels out I guess you could say the playing field. It levels out the playing field in which you and someone else can coexist on and relate and communicate with each other because of the sacrifices you make. So sacrificing oftentimes gives you a more of a platform to stand on in regards to relatability to other people who come from other walks of life. So they keep you humble. And like I said, man, everybody got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. And when you're humbled, you're equipped better mentally to build new habits that will ensure that your sacrifices in the future are worthwhile. You know, and that takes me into love, because at this point, whenever you have to sacrifice anything, you have to understand love in order to get to that peace with the sacrifice you're making. So understand that it may take you hitting your head on the wall after you've been told not to run on a slippery floor, um, to try to understand intact. and I may be better off versus I done hit my head on the wall trying to hurry up and get there. And now I'm not as good as I could have been now that I'm in this position. Now to excuse me. Now to parallel that to life, it may sound like I'm saying don't try to get to where you're going. And that's not what it is. So don't mistake that. All I'm saying is that a wounded warrior isn't as useful as a healthy one. And you may just impede your progress by being there before you're ready. Or worse, you may miss a shot of a lifetime. In that same breath, I also want to say that sometimes you have to sacrifice that comfort zone that you're in to get there as well. And knowing whether to ramp things up and press and move a little bit faster, which it may have just sounded like I was against, knowing when to do that will be visible through things. Some things you're not going to feel ready for regardless. You kind of just have to, understand the opportunity that's in front of you. And if it's there and you can grab it, don't be scared to grab it. Don't be scared to take on more responsibility for this or that thing. Just get in your bag and really grind it out. Sacrifice that comfort zone, man. Nothing grows there, as they say. So understanding that and having that discernment comes through, meditation, prayer, experience, you know, experience for sure, and understanding that hey, I gotta sacrifice this or that to get to where I want. And that in itself, that meditation, that prayer, that experience is where you should get your peace from in terms of, you know, understanding what you may have to sacrifice. Like I said, you sacrifice candy to have healthier teeth because you got a cavity problem. That's like you already hit on the wall. And then I sacrifice candy, but I love Snickers. Now you can't have a Snickers when you want to because you didn't understand that having too many at one point in time in your life, not sacrificing a little bit of that so that you can stretch that time out with that one thing, that candy. Once again, a metaphor for other things. Stretching out that one thing, that time limit you have, and able to you that time limit you have to be able to do any one thing comes from sacrificing and understand that I have to put myself in position to be able to have that. So I think peace comes from knowing that your sacrifice is worthwhile through just experience, through prayer, through meditation, through understanding what you're doing it for, understanding that it's not always easy. Sacrifice comes with scars. Like I said, I parallel everything to sports a lot. I got a lot of scars and battle wounds. I mean, I've had a surgery before, so I have scars because of that sacrifice. But I know I love the game. You know, I know I love being out there competing. I know I love the camaraderie and the teamship, the camaraderie and my teammates, and just the sport and the championships that I have, rings that I have to show for it. The sacrifice was worth it to me. And I knew that going in. I didn't know it as much as I do now when I was younger, but I always had a sense of it. Some people don't have a sense of it um, as much as they do when they're older. And if you are blessed to have a sense of it when you're younger, then you can actually go a lot further and a lot deeper and get a lot more out of whatever it is you're doing. It doesn't just have to be sports. That's just my parallel in terms of fighting. So, I think that piece really comes from understanding that it's gonna take a little bit of pain. It's gonna take being outside your comfort zone. It's gonna take prayer, meditation. It's gonna take really looking at each opportunity, really filling everything out. Um, it's gonna take it's gonna take the sacrificing some people's opinion of you. Sometimes a lot of people not gonna agree with what you're doing. Um, with anything, like it's like people are more mad when you don't care about things than they are when you do care about something or when you've chosen a side. It's like you choose a side and they're like, all right, well, I'm against you. You don't choose a side, and now you got two other sides that are outraged at you for not really caring as much as they care about any one thing, as if you're obligated to. And you have to sacrifice the feeling of I feel like I have to do this or I have to do that to let me figure out what price that I feel is worthwhile in anything. You know, if I'm going up against somebody in a ball game and he's good at this and he makes me feel like I have to play this other way, then now I'm one dimensional because I never took the time to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm good at, and how I'm going to get to that point. And I think that that is key. I think that might be bigger than understanding love in terms of peace and everything. I think that's more of a confidence builder in terms of when you decide or what you decide to sacrifice. So that's my spiel on it today. Not a super long podcast. I appreciate everybody that tunes in, to everyone. Like I said, they're all on Instagram and for 24 hours, the Unconquered World page and my personal page, Mayweather M underscore. They're all there. They're all there for 24 hours. They're on YouTube at Unconquered World, and they're on Facebook for as long as my timeline has them. So, once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we out. Oh snap! I didn't mean to do that though. The iPad always gives me the problems.